Hi everyone and welcome along. Today we're going to paint a really gorgeous card perfect for the arrival of a new baby, or even a christening card. That might be quite good too. It's a beautiful little crib in a floral wreath, but it's a floral wreath with a difference because today I'm going to be trying out a brand new set of metallic paints from MAB Watercolours, the Fairy series. Try and open it up. This gorgeous little tin of metallic, sparkly little watercolours with really delicate little colours. We're going to be trying them out, and I've got a discount code for you, so all you need to do is head to the episode notes below, check it out, and, well, see what you think of them in the tutorial first, but head to MAB Watercolours to get your discount on a lovely little set of handmade watercolours. So, grab your paints and let's get started. Right, so let's look at what we've got. I've got a 6-inch square bit of paper, and I've just drawn a circle on with a compass. But before we get started, I'm so excited to have been sent the Fairy series by MAB Watercolours, and we're going to have a little test of these. I love the names, they're super cute. The watercolours have got their little magnet on so that they can sit in the tin and not move around. That's really good, isn't it? So a nice little travel set for you right there. What I find with metallic watercolours is it's all about how they are once they have dried. So I'm going to just wake them all up and we'll do a bit of swatching. First we'll try Fairy Dust. That's really nice. Do you know what's really good? Is getting a metallic watercolour that can actually go nice and thick as well as lovely and pale. I really like that colour. It's kind of got a warm amber kind of glow to it. Okay, this pinky one is called Fantasy, and that is a lovely sort of opera rose style, bright pink. I can just picture right now my nieces going absolutely crazy over these colours. They're very into unicorns at the moment, so that would be very popular. This green here is called Enchanted Forest. That turns into quite a nice sort of bluey green actually once you sort of get down to a translucent finish. That's lovely. Fairy Wings is this one. I can see this is going to be a much sort of paler. Oh, that's nice. It's really lovely quality going on here. So they're definitely sort of fine glitter in these paints. So you're going to get a glittery finish with them. I mean, what's so nice is MAB Watercolours. I've had such fun with the vibrance of the colours. This is called Fairy Tale, and I absolutely adored, in particular, the neon ones she sent me last time. And but what's nice is I feel like these are just lovely. They're going on in a really fresh, vibrant way, and I can only imagine that when they dry they will pop even more. This one is called Magic. So you can buy the set. Oh wow, that's nice. That's more purpley on the page than I thought. I love that one. That's like moon glow in glitter form. And what's really cool now is my water is like a whole magic mix going on its own. So there we have the Fairy series from MAB Watercolours. They are available in her Etsy shop, and don't forget the code with the Winton paper coat that you can find in the episode notes below for a very special discount. So back to our little card here. So yeah, we want to do one for a new baby, and I thought, how about we do a little crib in the middle and then a nice wreath of fairy coloured flowers and things. I think that would be really sweet. So there's our middle. So I'm going to just do some tapered lines like that. And this one I'm going to extend it up and I'm going to come down like that. Maybe do a little band like that. And there we have it. I'll just do an extra little strut like that. And there we've got our basic crib shape, and now we can do some nice, almost like basket weaving on it. So I just need to wake up nice earthy tones in my palette. So we'll get yellow ochre ready, buff titanium, raw umber, burnt sienna, and then you always need a little bit of moon glow and or Paynes Grey. I know not all of you have moon glow, but you can see they're both useful shadow tones. Okay, so I think a size 2 brush, yellow ochre, is a good place to start, just by painting in little oblongs of colour that give you the beginnings of a woven texture and a really nice colour actually for it. Doesn't matter if most of them touch. We're just building up the beginnings of a texture. And then over here, my lines are a bit thinner, but they're also just tapering off like that. For the just choosing different tones, different colours, just to get a little bit of variation going. I've got buff titanium here, which doesn't look very different at all, but I'm just doing little horizontal lines. The only trouble with buff titanium is that if you've got any other colour on your brush when you wake it up, it does tend to assume that colour. But it's all good. We're just building up basic blocks and shapes. To create sort of weaving textures. I actually went to the craft festival. It's quite a big deal in Devon, the Bovey Tracy Craft Festival. I'm just going to do that and place these in here as well. Over the weekend, and they had this whole tent dedicated to like endangered crafts and heritage crafts and things, and weaving was something that a lot of people were doing. It just looked absolutely mesmerising. So I'm going to just sort of just on the inside. I won't do the inside of the crib yet. There we go. Lovely. I'm going to go down a size brush with my yellow ochre. There we go. So I just want that to dry, and then I can take my next colour down. So raw umber is nice and deep, and let's see if I just twist this a little bit. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. We can start weaving our crib quite nice and easily just by doing that up the yellow ochre lines. So that's looking really lovely, and now is the time to start to draw in a few curves and stems for our plants that are going to grow up on the wreath. And I thought it might be nice to have a sort of little tree branch actually coming over. And my plan is to do all of these bits of flowers in the fairy series. So here we are. I think because they're delicate watercolours, I'm going to let's get my swatches here. Lovely. Yeah, they're delicate watercolours, so I'm going to paint these in first and then paint like stems and things around them. I normally would do it the other way, but I thought this might be a good idea. So I've got my size 0 brush I'm using, and I think we'll just have a go. It's funny, I've got a very specific idea for the gold, so I'm going to leave that one. I think I'll start with the blue. And I'm going to begin by sort of creating a bit of a blossom tree. So what's brilliant is these go on really nice and sort of thickly, but also we can just dilute the colour and get it working as a nice sort of more of a washy tone as well. So we can just remember that we'll sort of extend out branches and things like that when we come to it later. Okay, I'm going to try some of this lovely purple, and I'm going to do, hey, I might do a hollyhock or two. We love hollyhocks here. So what's cool is these blend really nicely. So if I put down purple, drop in a little bit of pink, yeah, it works really nicely. So that's good. Then we'll have I think this is just really sweet. It's a really nice addition to have in your kit. Even if you don't sort of use metallics that often, like I don't, but it's so nice to have them. So I'm just going to make sure I've got a nice sort of range of colours going on and different like textures. Not entirely sure what these are, but I'm sure we'll make them into something. So yeah, I had this idea that these would be like sort of bulrush reeds, is that what they're called? haven't used the green metallic yet. I might do, but I might not for this piece. Not sure yet. Maybe it'll be a handy little highlight towards the end. Yeah, so I'm going to sort of get these in, let them dry, and then we'll get all the rest of it filled in with regular watercolour and then maybe a few little sparkly highlights to finish. Right, so we're going to start working with my regular watercolours now. We can still just enjoy looking at those from the side. So I'm going to now work sort of in the gaps of everything. And yeah, I'm just got some nice sort of brown mixture together, some burnt sienna with a bit of moon glow, size 0 brush, and starting to paint in some extra branches. You'll see I painted in a few extra flowers just because it was looking a little bare in places, which I didn't want. But I'm so pleased with it. I think what I particularly enjoy about these colours is there's a brightness and a vibrance, but there's not a sort of brashness to them. I think they're really beautifully chosen colours. They've got a vintagey feel to them, if that's possible with glitter. But I just look at this and I think I'm really pleased with these colours. And I haven't really done anything to them to change them or to mix them. So you can just see how I'm just adding a few extra branches here and there. And of course that means we might add a few extra flowers, but for now I think it's looking lovely. I'm going to go to some Sap Green for my hollyhocks. Now if you haven't already seen, I've got some green gold as well. Sorry, my voice has just gone very croaky. I'm recovering from a cold, but you know, hay fever and everything this time of year is never far away. If you haven't already seen my country house painting tutorial from, I think it's last week, time's moving fast. It is such a delight and it's been so popular on the channel and it's full of hollyhocks. So there's so much to find on my channel. We do 3 tutorials a week on YouTube, and that's before you talk about Patreon as well. We do a Patreon film tutorial every week as well, which can only be found on Patreon, funnily enough. And it's always something that we can't quite that we never have enough time for on YouTube. We like to go into a bit more detail on Patreon and do like a longer form piece over a few weeks, say. So there is something for everyone on here. And I like to try and be seasonal with my pieces because that's what we're all about here. Nature is my ultimate inspiration, and I'm often asked, because we've been doing the channel for 4 years now, and people say, don't you run out of ideas with 3 tutorials a week? And there are definitely times when I have to really sort of scratch my head a little bit and come up with something, but because nature is our ultimate inspiration, I find there's always something, always, without fail. And the other lovely thing is, if you are a patron, a De Winton Paper Co patron, then you will be aware that every month, save 1 or 2 in the year when we do catch-up months, you get the chance to choose YouTube tutorials. So it's called the You Choose YouTube feature. And whatever level patron, paid patron you are, you can submit suggestions. And I can just hear Crumble outside barking. He's obviously got a suggestion for me, which probably is take me on a walk. The suggestions then, I do as many of them as I can. And in fact, this new baby crib was one of them. So this is a great feature. So if you are like, oh, I really want Harriet to paint something or other, then you can actually have that impact on the YouTube tutorial content by joining Patreon. Anyway, back to this. Very much enjoying just filling out this wreath with lots of different greens and using different brushes to create different finishes as well, whether it's grasses, or leaves, or just sort of fluffy stuff on the ground, mossy things, or squatter leaves and things. It just, yeah, it's working really nicely. So I'm just going to keep filling it up, and then we will get to a point where we're going to do the finishing details. That's looking really lovely, and now it's time where I would normally start doing some low lights and accents. So I thought, why not try mixing in some of these with some of my paints in my palette, trying not to get too much glitter everywhere. That's quite nice. And oh yeah, love it. So adding a few more petals, but also just a few sort of extra little low lights on some of the dots we've already got. I added a little bit extra in the crib there. Maybe we'll have a few petals falling down. I think that's quite nice. A little bit of confetti. Maybe add in a bit. And then we can do a little on here. Oh, I'm really pleased with this. You can tell by that slight surprise that even the teachers don't always know how their work is going to come out at the end. And then in terms of a blanket, you could just take a little, I'll take a little bit of lemon yellow and just sort of put a few little marks in there. If you want to like do a colour of your choice, that's absolutely fine. I'm just going to take a little bit of this dark brown colour and just do like a bit of a shadow on the inside there. This was just a bit of moon glow earlier. It's little bits like this that just help it look just even more sort of charming. And yeah, I'm really, really pleased with that. And I'm so pleased with how these colours have worked. I also think what's really cool is how they mix in to my regular watercolours. That's always a bonus. It's not always a given that your colours will mix well with the others. So that is good news all round. And so we're just going to let this dry 100% and then rub out the pencil, and we'll have our new baby card ready to go. And there it is, all finished off and the pencil just rubbed out. And what I almost forgot about was the brilliance of when it catches the light. Can you see that? I hope you can see that. It is just beautiful the way the metallic watercolour shines like that. So if you would love to paint with these kinds of watercolours, then MAB, or I'm so sorry Melina, when I'm saying your brand name I sometimes say MAB and I sometimes say MAB Watercolours, but ultimately all you need to know is in the episode notes below there's a discount code for you, a link to the shop, and these watercolours and many more are waiting for you. So don't delay, grab your set and you can create beautiful, very sweet little paintings just like this. So thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to follow along for more watercolour inspiration. Thank you so much for getting involved with watercolour painting. It makes me so happy. I love to see your paintings, and don't forget to tag me at the Winton Paper Co. On Instagram, TikTok, anywhere you can find us on social media to show me your paintings. And of course, MAB Watercolours is also on social media. You can see loads more examples of how those watercolours work there. So I will say thank you very much, and I'll see you again next time. Bye!